Hello everyone, welcome to Healthy Options with Maureen once again. Today we'll be making fish curry. This recipe I assure you will love. Most people that have tried it, both guests, family members, have really liked it. But before we proceed, I would like to introduce to you some of the spices that are not very common that are used in the making of the fish curry. We have fennel and we have the cardamom. Usually these spices comes in bottles like this or in bags like this. So this is the cardamom spice and this is the fennel. Usually you can use a coffee grinder to grind it. I use the dry mill of my food processor to grind it. It usually comes in this form. You use this for grinding nuts and seeds. I grind this so that it gives me the powdered form of this is the powdered form of the cardamom and this is the fennel. So these are the two spices I'm introducing to you. Spices are known to be therapeutic even from ancient times. So I prefer usually to use spices instead of things like bouillon cubes that contain MS. Not very helpful to your body. Instead they cause harm. So come on with me as we make this fish curry. Before we start off our fish curry, we'll first of all grill our fish in the oven. And I will start off by drying the fish. I've actually dried off the reverse side with a paper towel. And I'm going to do this side now. As you can see, the intent is to get as much moisture out of the fish as possible, so that by the time we grill it, it will be able to dry evenly. So after doing this, the next part will be to salt it. Then I'll use a little bit of ghee. You can see this is sea salt. We'll be using sea salt for this, and we'll also be using ghee. So we'll use some ghee and we'll use some sea salt. I will start off by putting as much sea salt. Of course, not terribly much, but just enough to make sure we get enough seasoning by the time our fish is ready. I'll do this for both the front side and the reverse side. I will now go ahead and massage the salt onto the fish. At this point, I'm not really bothered about the shape of the fish. That's why I'm not really particular about what the fish looks like now. Because after all said and done, we are still going to chop up the fish into chunks to add to our curry. So I have massaged the salt into this side of the fish, and I'm going for the reverse side now. Just like we did, we'll do the same here. So now that I'm done applying the salt to the fish, I'm going to apply the ghee as well on both the front and the reverse side. It should bake for about 15 to 25 minutes to give it that golden color that we are looking for. So now I'm headed to the oven. I will place it at the bottom rack of the oven. As you can see, it's in the oven. I placed it not so high up in the oven. I placed it closer to the bottom rack of the oven. That way it can dry out gradually and evenly, and it can brown out as well. So I will be coming back to show you what happens after this stage. It's important you put a tray underneath to be able to collect the juices that will flow out as the fish dries out, because that will be necessary as well for the fish curry. So at this point, I've lifted the fish out of the grill. We'll be chopping soon for our fish curry. I usually scrape off all the stock that gathers from the fish. Remember, we put a pan under. This is actually very helpful too in the preparation of the curry, so I'll be adding this as we make the curry sauce. For the fish curry, we need about 24 medium-sized tomatoes. It's important to know that after you chop your tomato, you place it in a colander so you can gather the fluid from the tomato, because we need it to cook rapidly and we don't want a bunch of fluid in our curry. So the colander helps to drain out most of the fluid from it. We need a large onion and a half. We need about 4 green bell peppers. We need 1 large red pepper, also known as tatase back home in Nigeria, chopped. We need 2 tablespoons of curry powder, some scotch bonnet peppers. Depending on what you like, you could like yours a bit hotter, or if you prefer, you could do without it. We need about half a cup of coconut oil, and I also added 2 tablespoons. We need some garlic. That's about 6 cloves of garlic, and this is 2 cloves. We are adding them at different times, that's why I separated them. We need some fennel spice, just a pinch, that's fennel. And this is cardamom. This is about half a teaspoon of cardamom. That's the fish stock we got when we grilled our fish. We got it from the pan, we collected it while we grilled our fish. So these are the things we'll be needing as we make our fish curry. We have our fish already chopped now, so we're going into the cooking stage. So you place your pot on heat, and the first thing you add to your pot is coconut oil. You add the coconut oil, and almost immediately you add your onions. As we can see, the onions is beginning to soften, so I will just add about a teaspoon of sea salt. I will check for seasoning later and see if I need to add more. The next thing that goes in is the 6 cloves of garlic. We still have some that will go in later. Then we have our curry powder. The next step is the tomato. We stir gently. We stir, then we add the peppers. When they start sizzling and boiling, then we can start adding our other spices, and the other ingredients will come in later. So we allow it boil for some time. So at this point, I'm going to add the other spices. Remember, we have cardamom, we have fennel, then we have the scrapings from the fish stock. So we stir. We give it some time and allow it to its thing. After about 5 minutes of simmering, you add your red bell pepper and you stir. Still give it some time. This should last for about 10 to 15 minutes before the fish goes in, and the last thing that will be going in will be the green bell peppers and the garlic. So we'll let it sit for some time. We keep coming back to check and stir. Let it sit. Once the oil starts coming up in the surface, that's when it's time to add your fish. So as you can see, the oil is beginning to separate from the sauce. At this point, we'll add the fish. We do this gently because the fish is very fragile. Try to stir. This has to be done with care because you still need your fish to be seen after your fish curry is served. Don't want it all flicked up in the curry. I'll just let this heat up for about 5 minutes. Then I'll be adding the green bell peppers and the garlic. Once I add this, I stir and I turn off the heat. I don't let it cook for any longer than necessary because it's already perfectly cooked now. So at this point, my heat has been turned off. So I will just stir. So as you can see, this is our fish curry. You can serve this. Usually I serve it with rice, but we can also have it with flat bread as well. I'm going to serve this and show you how I serve it. So at this point, the fish curry has been served. I usually serve it with white rice. As you can see, I have white rice by the side. It's a very tasty meal, and I hope you try this and let us know what your take is on it. Bon appétit! Thank you!